The first time Aarav Malik stayed late at the office, it wasn't to clean, it was to save something that wasn't even his responsibility. The hallway lights flickered above him, casting long shadows across the marble floor as he stood staring at a broken control panel no one else had noticed. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from exhaustion. He had been awake for nearly 20 hours, balancing two lives, one as a father, the other as a man desperately trying to survive. That night, he didn't know that a single decision, tightening one loose wire, would change his life forever. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Rise Up Stories. Your support helps keep stories like this alive and reaching hearts around the world. Every morning, Aarav woke before sunrise to pack his daughter Meher's lunch. Their small apartment overlooked a noisy street where buses roared and vendors shouted, but inside their kitchen, mornings were quiet and gentle. Meher was only 8 years old, with bright eyes that always searched for her father the moment she woke. Aarav brushed her hair carefully, making sure the ribbons sat straight, even though his own shirt remained wrinkled from lack of time. He had once been an electrical technician at a manufacturing company, respected and stable, until the factory shut down without warning. Overnight, his steady paycheck disappeared, and with it, the sense of security he had worked years to build. The days that followed were filled with rejection letters and long lines outside crowded offices. Employers wanted younger workers, cheaper workers, faster workers. Aarav accepted temporary jobs wherever he could find them, but nothing lasted. Rent piled up. Bills stacked like silent threats on the table. The only constant in his life was Meher's quiet trust in him, a trust that both comforted and crushed him. She believed her father could fix anything. But each passing week made him feel more broken. One afternoon, while waiting outside a job agency, Aarav noticed a small handwritten notice taped to the wall. It advertised a night cleaning position at a large corporate building called Virion Tech Solutions. The pay was low, barely enough to cover groceries and electricity, but it was steady work. Without hesitation, he took the number and applied. That evening, he returned home with forced optimism, telling Meher that things were finally going to get better. She clapped her hands in excitement, believing him without doubt. The building itself was massive, shining glass walls that reflected the bright daytime sky like mirrors. During his first shift, Aarav felt invisible among the polished floors and expensive furniture. Employees rushed past him without making eye contact, their voices echoing with urgency and ambition. He wore a simple gray uniform and carried a mop bucket, feeling like a ghost in a world that once might have been his. Yet he worked carefully, cleaning each surface with quiet pride, refusing to let his situation steal his dignity. As weeks passed, Aarav developed a silent routine. During daytime hours, he spent time helping Meher with her schoolwork, cooking meals, and walking her to the bus stop. When evening arrived, he left her with their elderly neighbor and headed to the office building. His body grew tired, but his mind stayed alert. He noticed things others overlooked: flickering lights, loose cables near workstations, machines making strange humming noises. Years of electrical training had trained his instincts, even though he no longer held the title. One afternoon, while cleaning near the main operations floor during an unusually busy daytime shift, Aarav noticed something alarming. A section of the control system panel showed signs of overheating. The wires behind the cover were discolored, and a faint smell of burning plastic lingered in the air. Employees nearby continued working, unaware of the silent danger growing inside the system. Aarav hesitated. He wasn't hired as a technician. He was a cleaner. Touching company equipment could cost him his job, but the smell grew stronger. His instincts screamed that something was wrong, dangerously wrong. Heart pounding, Aarav set his mop aside and removed the panel cover carefully. Sweat rolled down his forehead as he traced the wires with steady fingers. One connector had loosened, causing sparks that could ignite at any moment. He worked quickly, tightening the connection and adjusting the wiring so heat could dissipate safely. Within minutes, the humming sound softened, and the burning smell faded into nothing. He exhaled slowly, relief washing over him. No one noticed. No applause followed. He quietly replaced the panel cover and returned to his cleaning duties, believing the moment would pass unnoticed, just another invisible act in his invisible life. But someone had seen everything. From across the room, standing near a glass office, CEO Ria Sanyal had watched the entire scene unfold. She had been reviewing reports when the smell caught her attention. Instead of calling maintenance immediately, she observed the cleaning worker approach the panel with calm precision. His movements were confident, practiced, nothing like someone guessing blindly. She noticed how he double-checked the connections before stepping away, ensuring safety before returning to his routine. Later that day, maintenance engineers arrived to inspect the system after an internal alert triggered. Their findings shocked them. A severe electrical fault had nearly caused a shutdown across the building's main server network. One engineer admitted quietly that if the wire had sparked further, the company could have faced massive data loss, possibly costing millions. Ria listened silently, her gaze fixed on Aarav as he cleaned a nearby window. The next morning, instead of starting his usual shift with a mop in hand, Aarav was called into a conference room, a place he had never entered before. His heart raced as he stepped inside, fearing he had broken company rules. He imagined losing his job, returning home to Meher with empty hands once again. The thought made his chest tighten painfully, but what happened next stunned him. Ria Sanyal stood at the far end of the room, her expression calm yet thoughtful. She didn't speak harshly or accuse him. Instead, she asked simple questions about his background, where he had worked before, what training he had received, how he knew what to fix. Aarav answered honestly, explaining his years as an electrical technician and the sudden factory closure that forced him into cleaning work. For a long moment, silence filled the room. Then Ria smiled, not politely, but genuinely. She explained that his quick thinking had prevented a major system failure that could have cost the company millions and endangered employees. More importantly, she recognized something rare: responsibility without recognition. She offered him a new position on the maintenance team, along with proper training and a salary nearly 3 times higher than his cleaning wages. Aarav felt the room spin slightly as emotion flooded his chest. For months, he had carried the weight of failure, believing his skills no longer mattered. Now, in a single unexpected moment, someone had seen his worth again. When he returned home that afternoon, sunlight poured through the apartment window, casting warm golden light across the small living room. Meher ran toward him, laughing, unaware that their lives were about to change. Aarav lifted her into his arms, holding her tighter than usual. Tears filled his eyes, quiet tears of relief, gratitude, and renewed hope. Days turned into weeks, and Aarav adapted quickly to his new role. His confidence returned. He repaired systems, upgraded safety measures, and became known as someone reliable and dedicated. The same employees who once walked past him now greeted him with